And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Monday. It's May 9th, and it's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. It is a Monday. It's a magnificent Monday, and we welcome you to Coleman and Company, and we welcome T.R. Kirby to talk about Absolute Kubota. T.R., good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And I hope you're doing well.
Yes, sir. It was a nice Sunday for our Mother's Day. Thank you to all the mothers out there.
Yeah, it really was.
It was. It was a little brisk at first, but it warmed up to be a nice day.
Well, we're here, of course, you are here to talk about things that are happening at 1506 West Main, and that's where Absolute Kubota is located. They sell Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs. Last week we talked most of the time about hay equipment. You had a good week of hay equipment?
Yes, sir. We still got some hay equipment there on the lot. Come in for a good deal on new disc mower, new hay rake, or a new baler as well. We also have tethers as well, and then tractors to pull that equipment as well.
There is such a thing as one person, one man farming now, and with all the help that they can get at Absolute Kubota, they can pull it off for a lot of things. Maybe not everything, but you can almost do farming with one person, right?
Yes, sir, you can. It always helps to have the right equipment to get that job done, even if you're doing it by yourself. I always recommend if you do a hay operation, 2 tractors is usually a good number. 3 would be ideal because you could just leave the equipment hooked up. Mm-hmm. You don't have to switch out implements all the time. A small tractor accompanies a big tractor. It's just a lot of farms here in the county, they have 2 tractors, a smaller one to do the general chores, and then they have a bigger one to hook to the big equipment. And that always seems to be a great pair together.
Well, it's probably not too difficult to have them to see your way when you point that out, if they don't already know, and I'm sure a lot of them do. But if you can have a little one and a bigger one, that's that much better.
It does. It makes the biggest difference. And then having an RTV there as well. Usually farmers have all 3. Just they've got to get certain tasks for each piece of equipment, along with a skid steer and along with the Kubota does sell wheel loaders. You've seen one if you've ever got mulch at the co-op. They use a wheel loader there. Those things are becoming more and more popular as well. It's faster travel speeds than a skid steer, but maneuverable and a little easier to observe than a tractor.
Well, we've noticed interest rates going up a little bit. Has it affected your terms yet?
It has not affected our terms. 0% for 60 months on most every tractor out there, and 0% for 36 on your smaller lawnmowers, and 0% for 48 on your large lawnmowers.
So as far as that goes, it's just it's still a great time to buy and great terms. As Don Hamlet says lots of times, you, instead of taking that money out of the bank, leave it there and get whatever interest you can on it and make those monthly payments, and you got it made.
Correct. Make those low monthly payments as well as take the KTAC insurance on that product. It covers it pretty much. There's 2 exclusions, which are few and far between. Everybody, if you use those exclusions, then we're in more trouble than you think. But it's a $250 deductible on the insurance, and it covers pretty much the whole machine.
Yeah. Well, it's all waiting for you there at 1506 West Main. You've what you and Don have told us pretty much is that any shortage that you might have or any equipment that might be a little bit hard to get is because Kubota can't produce it fast enough, not the other things that's causing some of the car dealers to not have enough supply.
Correct. Freight's a big deal. Ocean freight, some of the stuff does come from Japan and South Korea, and where normally it took a container ship 30 days to get across the pond, they so to say, it now takes 100 days, and it's just it's a logistical nightmare to them, and they're trying to stay on top of it. They've really stepped up their game to communicate with us what we're going to be getting and when we're going to be getting it.
But you're working hard to have enough there to supply people's needs, of course. We might mention your hours before you go this morning.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, and then Saturday, 8 to 12.
And that is Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, where you find everything from weed eaters to hay balers. And you'll find T.R. Kirby. And you'd love to see all your friends come in and let you show them what you got.
Yes, sir.
All right. See you
Thank
next
you, sir.
week.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for Absolute Kubota here on a Monday morning. Thank you, T.R. Kirby. Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs, and the phone number 615-449-6171. 10 and a half after the hour. State Representative Susan Lynn joins us this morning live in studio, and we want to say good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
It's good to see you again, and this will be your final visit with us for this particular session of the legislature, but we've had a lot that's happened since we started talking in January.
Boy, have we ever. It was a good session. It felt like it went very quickly, and I think we did a lot of good work. I really do. I really do.
Well, we can talk about this, and of course, we've gone over a number of these things, but kind of to summarize, I guess, today. And as far as the overall budget, are you basically pleased with what you're able to do?
I am pleased with what we're able to do. It will be interesting with TISA will be going into effect in 2 years. So the BEP is still in effect. We funded education at $9 billion, which is a huge increase from 6 point something billion dollars. And in 2 years, we'll have the new TISA go into effect, and administrators and principals will be learning about the TISA. And I think it will be helpful for children. I know that our director of schools, of course, you always have caution about any new program, but he did ask me to vote for it, cautionary. He doesn't really want anything to change within the 2 years. And if things do change, there's proposals, we'll go over it. But he felt comfortable, and he did ask me to vote for it. And listening in committee, watching the education committee, listening in the finance committee, I felt comfortable too. I really think it's going to address the needs of each and every individual student.
That's one of the bigger things that we've done. There's a lot of legislation that's passed, but changing the funding and the way it's done for our schools is a big step. And it's something I don't think that anybody really took lightly. I think there was a lot of discussion, a lot of thought went into this, and hopefully it is the right thing to do.
Yeah, it was months and months of, the governor had special meetings all over the state, many of them, and listening with parents, teachers, administrators all over the state. And they took back all those comments, and they looked at the problems and tried to work out solutions to those problems and incorporate them into TISA. So it seemed like in the end, most were happy with it. There will be some school districts whose funding actually maintains and stays the same. They won't get increased funding. Why is that? And very, very few. It's because they lost population. So overall, they will get the same amount of money, but they literally lost population. And this is addressing the needs of every single student, and those students won't be there.
Yeah. Well, why does it take a while to implement this? I mean, it's passed now, but it's really not going into effect till a later date.
Whenever you have a new plan, especially a funding plan, you have to work out the kinks. So there will be kinks discovered along this 2 years. But as you know, you have to have that time to, once you get down in the weeds, where are the issues? And I know those issues will be discovered over the next 2 years. And, there'll be solutions found to still enact the dream of TISA what it is to bring funding to each and every student so their needs can be met. So those solutions will just have to be discovered and sought.
I have a lot of attention given to teachers. Seems like that a lot of people do support more pay for teachers, and I think there's some funding for them in this, isn't there?
Well,
some
actually,
additional funding.
And it's in the BEP. So TISA doesn't start for 2 years, but there's more funding for teachers in the BEP. And the difficulty's always been, part of their salary, their wage comes from the county level. The counties fund in the 40% area. The federal government funds about 7% in Wilson County of schools. And then the state funds about 52% of Wilson County schools' budget. So when the state says we're giving an increase, we're going to give a 4% raise, that's in the state's portion. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you then add in the other 48%, it doesn't work out to a 4% raise. And that's always been the confusion and the sticking point. And another thing is the BEP says we're providing funding for X amount of teachers because your school district has X amount of students. Well, some school districts choose to overfund. They fund more. Mm-hmm. They fund more, like Wilson County Schools funds more teachers, and fully funds school nurses, school nurse in every school, all of that. Wilson County Schools does that, and boy, are we grateful that Wilson County Schools does that, because we have excellent schools. I mean, you can tell from the performance. And but of course, those teachers that Wilson County Schools chooses to fund above and beyond the BEP, that's not incorporated into that formula. So that's where, people, the rub is always there. The legislature closes and we say, we're giving a 4% raise, yay. Well, the teachers then look at their paycheck and my paycheck didn't go up 4%. So that's where that problem comes in.
Well, I'm glad you explained that. It is time for us to take a break. State Representative Susan Lynn is with us, and her final visit for this legislative session here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and that regular oil change, $28.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, $16.73. West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at a crash here, blocking traffic. TDOT's trying to move it quickly because it's in a terrible spot. 40 westbound at Spence Lane over here near the airport. Again, it's got traffic extra slow now through this area on 40 westbound at Spence Lane because of this crash. As traffic increases now, 24 coming in from the Jolton area. Traffic's also on the increase 70 at 65, making your way up through Brentwood, Franklin. 500 block of Bell Road. That wreck did have some injuries. Prince's Hot Chicken now hiring at both locations. If you haven't been there in a while, check out that menu at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota subcompact and compact tractors. Our reliable #1 selling tractors are designed for easy operation and feature all the performance-matched attachments needed to tackle any job. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for 84 months plus save up to $1,200 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/offers for full disclaimer.
Visit Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main Street in Lebanon.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. That seemed like a short break.
That seemed like a short break.
Sometimes we get a good conversation going and get interrupted. But back to State Representative Susan Lynn this morning. I want to ask you about, there was some controversy, I guess. There was at least some mixed feelings about funding the stadium for the football team, for the Titans. And how did you feel about that?
Yeah, there was a lot of mixed feelings about it. And Coleman, in the end, I ended up voting for it. My constituents, we are a bedroom community of Nashville. My constituents go to those Titan games. They want to see a Super Bowl come to Nashville. They would absolutely love that. And they want to see the other events that a Dome Stadium can provide in Nashville. So I ended up voting for it. I do think, largely these things do fund themselves. They really do. The tax collections, what it is the tax collections surrounding and in the stadium would go to help pay the bonds that were used to build the stadium. Not all of the bonds, only the bonds that the state of Tennessee said, okay, we will authorize this much in bonding. And that tax collection that you collect there can be used to help pay for those bonds. Mm-hmm. That's the way that works. It's not more than that. And that's the way the state's portion works. Now in Davidson County, they also want to implement a hotel motel tax, which would be throughout Davidson County. Right. The voters will have a say in that. They will get to decide that. But as for the
referendum.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But for the state's portion, I personally, I haven't been to a football game in years. Anybody got tickets? Invite me. But seriously, I haven't been to a Titans game in years and years and years. But I do know that
big sports.
I'm not a sports fan. I'm cooking and gardening. Yeah, I love that. And organizing, I love organizing. But I know that my constituents, they love that, they want that, they enjoy that, and it will just really increase the value of living in Nashville, especially in Wilson County, a bedroom community of Nashville, because our government is so different, and it's really a wonderful government here.
What else do we need to talk about as we summarize things this morning? There's a lot of legislation that is passed. Some of it gets more attention than others. But
we did so many good things, Coleman. $500 million to expand career and technical education in 759 middle school and high schools across the state. That is so wonderful. I can't tell you, the career and technical education, you can really get out of school and be equipped to get a job with a good program. And then, of course, our career and technical education post-secondary, that is also receiving more funding. And those are wonderful programs where you can really get a good job if you go through those programs. And guess what? You finish debt-free. That is the best part. $125 million more to increase teacher salary. We are having some sales tax holidays. Of course, we're going to have our school sales tax holiday. We are having a sales tax holiday on registration fees. So basically, your registration on your car will go down $23.75 for the whole year. We're very happy about that. We did remove the professional privilege tax for physicians and ODs. A $68 million sales tax reduction for broadband supplies. We're trying to get broadband everywhere, and they will not have to pay sales tax on that. And then something that really, really makes sense, Tennessee farmers, we're reducing the sales tax on the agricultural industry and equipment, similar to the tax reductions that industries and manufacturers currently receive. So the farmers are in production, right? And they don't get the same sales tax advantage that a manufacturer gets. So that will happen for farmers, which I just think is such a great idea. Let's see, we had ethics reform for campaign finance. We have a wonderful bill. This is a pilot program in Tennessee for Alzheimer's patients. A family came to us, and in other states they do some respite care so that the people who are caretakers of their Alzheimer's patients will get up to 4 hours a week. This is a pilot program, it's limited to 225 people. So when you see it go up, please try to get into the program. But it will provide up to 4 hours a week for respite for those caretakers. And what they found in other states, it really does help people stay at home longer. People want to take care of their loved ones. They don't want to put them in an institution. And this does help them stay at home longer because these folks will have 4 hours a week where they can run out to the store, they can run to the bank, they can do whatever it is that they need to do. And in Florida, in fact, it was so successful that Governor DeSantis has put $15 million towards the program this year because it's really helping people stay in their homes with their loved ones and not have to go to a facility. So I just absolutely love that bill. The Hope Scholarship is increasing. It's going to $2,200 per semester for students in their freshman through sophomore year, and then $2,850 per semester for juniors and seniors. So that's sort of an incentive to go ahead and finish, go ahead and finish. So, and then at our 2-year colleges, so that was at the 4-year colleges, but at our 2-year colleges, it's also going to increase for them to help them pay for their education. So just so many good things.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we
happened.
run out of time here, I
Yeah.
almost know you want to talk about this thing called the trigger law. Because you had
Oh,
something,
that's right.
You had something to do with that.
The trigger, they're right, the trigger bill. Okay, so we all saw how the leak on the Supreme Court, where it looks like the court may overturn Roe v. Wade and put it back to the states, which means the states get to decide their law on abortion. So Tennessee, we've prepared for that 2 years ago, or actually 2019, so that's 3 years ago. I was asked to sponsor a bill by the governor, and I was very honored to do this, called the Trigger Ban Bill. And what it says is that if Roe v. Wade is overturned, abortion will be illegal in Tennessee 30 days after the overturning it by the court, except to save the life of the mother, rape or incest. And so that will go into effect 30 days after. And
Did this pass overwhelmingly?
no, it was definitely a partisan vote. I don't remember if any Democrats voted for it. I think there may have been 1 or 2 Republican votes that voted no. But if you want to call that overwhelming, because, there's people you expect probably won't vote for it, and the people you expected probably would vote for it, yes, they overwhelmingly voted for it.
Okay, we got about 3 minutes left. I wonder what it's going to be like for you now as you. I don't think you have any. Do you have any opposition? I can't remember.
I don't, and I don't remember the last time I didn't. But no,
There's no
I don't.
Republican for the primary in August, and no independent or Democrat running for the seat you have in November.
and
either.
in the November election.
So
right.
you're going to have another 2 years here. Looks
Well,
like.
it looks like that. Lord willing, right? Lord willing. Yeah, and it could be just reapportionment was confusing for folks, and they just didn't know where the lines were going to be. But who knows? But I am grateful. And so, what will I be doing? Well, on Thursday, I am leaving to go to a board of directors meeting for the American Legislative Exchange Council. I serve on the board of directors there. And the American Legislative Exchange Council is a national group of state legislators. We all come together 2 or 3 times a year and work on policy. So if there was some good idea, something that worked in one state and they saw really good results, they bring it to ALEC. We create model legislation that can then be distributed across all of the states. And it's state legislator run and driven. And it's a really great organization. I've participated in it for a very long time. And so then during the summer, we'll have our annual meeting, and then in the fall, we'll have another annual meeting to get ready for session. So we'll be working really hard on model legislation and looking at all the good ideas that are out there. And we primarily focus on business economic issues. We don't focus on the social issues. So it's really just business and economic issues.
One of the things, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you have been really a proponent of our nation's Constitution and believe very strongly in what our founding fathers developed. And you want to see it adhered to and not watered down or changed unnecessarily.
Well, that is absolutely true. And you look at what the Biden administration is doing, what is their minister of truth or whatever that is, that's not authorized by the U.S. Congress. They are illegally spending money on that position. If they've hired any staff, that's illegal. See, anything the administration does has to be authorized by law. And there is no authorization in law for them to form that office. So they're illegally doing that. You've heard some legislators at the federal level say, I'm filing legislation to take that away. You don't have to file legislation to take that away. Just sue. They cannot have that person. They cannot pay that person. They can have that not have that person doing what they're doing. There's no law that authorizes what they're doing. They don't even have anything to carry out because there's strictly no law on what they're doing. So it's all going to be interesting, Coleman. It really is. And at the American Legislative Exchange Council, we pay a lot of attention to what the federal government is doing and try to thwart that at the state level. So you've seen over the years a lot of bills that are trying to thwart what's going on at the federal level. Yeah. So we work very hard on that, and we've got a lot of good people involved. You can't believe the people we've got involved at ALEC to try to defeat those things.
Well, we've come to the end of our time here, but it's nice to have you live in studio today, and have a great summer. And I guess about January, if not before, we'll see you again.
All right, I look forward to it.
State Representative Susan Lynn and Part 1 of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at a crash here, blocking traffic. TDOT's trying to move it quickly because it's in a terrible spot. 40 westbound at Spence Lane over here near the airport. Again, it's got traffic extra slow now through this area on 40 westbound at Spence Lane because of this crash. As traffic increases now, 44 coming in from the Jolton area. Traffic's also on the increase 70 at 65, making your way up through Brentwood, Franklin. 500 block of Bell Road. That wreck did have some injuries. Princess Hot Chicken now hiring at both locations. If you haven't been there in a while, check out that menu at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
We're kicking off a warming trend as we start the week. Look for temperatures in the mid-80s today with mostly sunny skies. No real chance of rain to worry about. Tuesday and Wednesday should have highs hitting 90. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number 1 Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It's a Monday morning. The sun is shining. I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day weekend. We did at our house. And by the way, at my house, I'm still Cornhole King. My youngest son and I played 8 games yesterday, and I'm bragging, but I won 6 of them. So we want to welcome Joey Cox this morning to talk about Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet. Joey, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Coleman. How are you?
It is good to see you, but I'm going to tell you, this is the first time I ever remember doing a Rocky Williams commercial without Billy Mullinex.
I was told that as soon as I walked in the door. This is probably the first vacation Billy's had in, I'd say, 5 or 7 years, to be honest with you.
He's got to deserve it. Is he going to be gone more than a week?
Yes. He will be gone more than a week.
You're going to be back next Monday?
He will be back next Monday.
He will, or you?
He will. He will be back next Monday.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's remind everybody, of course, Rocky Williams is located at 600 Pleasant Grove Road in Mount Juliet. Billy, of course, is the general manager, and Joey Cox, who's here this morning, is a salesperson, but they feature no haggle pricing. Everybody pays the same great low price. Now, want to know a little bit about you. How long you been doing this at Rocky Williams?
I have been at Rocky Williams for almost 3 years now. Actually got my start in the car business with Josh McKinney at Pro Shine Auto Detailing about 10 years ago. So I've been with Rocky for 3 years, and I enjoyed every second of it, to be honest with you.
Now, we talk about the way car salesmen have done in the past, and a lot still do, where they expect to be negotiated, and they're going to try to keep the price as high as possible. You're going to try to get it as low as possible, and a lot of the time that's spent in purchasing a new or used car is spent negotiating. And of course, Rocky Williams has taken all of that out. Now, when you went from one way to the other, was that was a somewhat of a learning curve for a little while, wasn't it?
Well, to be honest, Coleman, it was actually an easier transition because where we are, one price, no haggle, it takes out the negotiating part on the price. It's the most transparent dealership that you can actually come across.
You like it?
Oh, I love it because I'm not running back and forth to the tower. You tell me what you want. We be transparent with each other, and we'll get a deal together.
And of course, we've got to get this in here. We better do it now. I don't know whether you're going to say the same thing Billy says or not. When I say see the entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars at RockyWilliams.com.
Yes, sir.
You might see your neighbor there.
You might see your neighbor there. You had to throw that in there. He told me to as well.
But that's the thing about it. You get your price as low as you can go at the very beginning, and so and you stick with it. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. You don't deviate from that, and you've been there long enough to see that.
Yes, sir. You get our best price up front. So, like I said, that no haggle, it takes out all the running back and forth and arguing. You know how it is. A lot of people, when they come into a dealership, they have a wall up. They think the dealership's out to get them. Not at Rocky Williams. Like I said, you get our best price up front. You sit down, be transparent with us, and we'll get you riding in a new car.
Well, which ones you like the best?
Jeep by far. You see, it took me a little bit of Jeep by far. Jeep Wranglers, Jeep Gladiators. I actually own one myself. I own a Jeep Gladiator. A lot of people don't know this, but a Jeep in the grill has 7 slots that represent all 7 continents that Jeeps were made to ride on. So any terrain.
I did not know that.
Yeah. See, you learned something new today, Mr. Coleman. Yeah. They are best machines I've ever rode in. Rain, sleet, snow, sand, mud, anything, it's made to go in. And that's what Mr. Willie's is the first Jeep ever made was for the military. That's
right.
one of the Sarge Green. Yep. So
back in World War II, probably.
Yeah, way long time ago.
Yes. Anyway, all right. Well, you love them. A lot of other people do too.
Yes, sir.
But what you haven't been able to have as big an inventory of new cars for the last, I guess, year and a half, 2 years. But you do have a pretty good selection, just not as much as before, right?
We have a lot more pre-owned than new cars. Ever since COVID came in, they shut down the assembly lines, and you couldn't get all the manufacturers shut down, so you can't get new cars. And then when you can't get new, it drives the demand for used cars through the roof. So we do have over 250 used cars on the lot right now, which is more than I've seen locally than anybody. So we do have a big selection. We've got new cars coming in. You just got to be patient, wait on them, but we do have a lot coming in.
Well, again, you can see that entire inventory at RockyWilliams.com, and just remember they price their cars and not their customers, and you're not commissioned salespeople either. You can verify that.
No, sir. That is exactly right. We get paid the same whether you buy a new or used car. It does not matter. We are looking for the best deal for the customers, what we're out to do.
And you get paid to sell a car, not how much money you make.
That's it, non-commission. So it does not matter.
Well, you're open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes,
sales
sir.
department is. And I guess you're there most days.
Yes, every day but Thursday.
Thursday's your day.
That's
off.
my off day.
Yeah.
That's me and the family time. That's what I call that. So.
Yeah. Well, it is really good to have you, Joey, and we hope that Billy enjoys his vacation, and he surely deserves it without question.
He sure does.
And I know you'd want to welcome anybody to come by and see you this week while he's not there.
I would be more than happy to help anybody that want to come ask for Joey.
And ask for Joey at Rocky Williams, and you can tell him you heard about it here on the radio. That'll do us all good.
That's it.
Thank you so much this morning.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Joey Cox, Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram of Mount Juliet, 600 Pleasant Grove Road. No haggle pricing. Everybody pays the same great low price. Thank you so much. We're going to turn now to my guest for today. And of course, we've got it's a program today we do for Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. And my friend Ed Kelly is with us this morning. And let me turn your mic on. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How was your Mother's Day weekend?
Oh, it was great. You know, my wife, she's about to have our third son. And, last year we actually lost a baby boy, so that was real heartbreaking, but God has given us another one. And we haven't given it a name yet, but it should be due anytime within the next either day or 2 or 3 weeks. We just don't know yet.
Well, how's the plumbing business going?
Oh, it's going wonderful. We've been really busy helping folks around Wilson County and Mount Juliet and Lebanon. There's been quite a few slab leaks in the area. We've been running into some of this PEX pipe leaking in the slab, and so
The what leaking?
PEX pipe,
Oh.
PEX piping.
Yes, okay.
And last week we did one for a nice lady out of the Stonebridge community here in Lebanon, and we've been putting in water heaters and fixing all kinds of people's plumbing problems.
Well, that's something that I guess is always going to be with us, plumbing problems, because nothing is totally permanent forever. There's elements about plumbing in almost anything, business, residence, or whatever in between, that's going to go bad from time to time, and that's why we have to have people like you, and it keeps your livelihood going, I guess.
Yeah, well, we just pride ourselves in doing the best possible job available. We want to provide a professional service to all of our customers, and for the most part, we do a really good job of doing that. Our Google reviews speak for themselves, and also our A rating on the Better Business Bureau.
Well, that's good to know as well. It's good, I think, to give out telephone numbers. I don't know how many people write them down, but we'll remind them at least. Your phone number is 615-733-5665, 733-5665 for Ed Kelly at Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. Any unusual things you've done since you were here last time? Hard, easy, in between, whatever.
You know, I'm trying to remember. There's been so many things we've done since the last time we've been here. It's hard to remember, but I did want to congratulate all the candidates who won in this current election for Wilson County. You know, Mayor Hutto and Debbie Moss and Tyler Chandler and all the others. Congratulations for y'all's victory, and also the ones that didn't win. You know, there's always next time. Don't ever give up. Keep trying.
Well, it's not strange that you mentioned that, but it reminds me of something that I heard one time, that everybody knows when they put their name on the ballot that somebody's going to win and everybody else is not going to. But at the same time, I don't know that I've ever seen a candidate that didn't think they were going to win.
Well, you've got to go into it with the idea of winning. You know, every plumbing job we go into with the mindset to win, and you know, sometimes that plumbing gives us a hard time. You know, but we don't let it win.
Sometimes there can be a challenge you were not expecting, and you have to deal with that, and your reputation's at stake a little bit at times.
Absolutely. You know, there's an old plumber's joke that you know, on our end, that some customers think that it looks so easy a monkey could do it. You know, and my little boy, he loves this show called Curious George, and there's actually an episode on there where Curious George the monkey ended up getting a bunch of his toys in the bathtub, and the the drain wasn't
Oh.
wasn't stopped up like it should have been. There wasn't anything to stop any toys from going in there, and it stopped this whole apartment building in New York City, and they had to call this plumber out there, and then sure enough, after the plumber left, George decided he was gonna do it the next time, and that caused a big problem. But yeah, there's an old joke in our field that it looks so easy a monkey can do it, but it's in most cases it's not.
You've had I guess quite a bit of experience. I don't know how much training, but experience on the job, and you were in Texas before you came here, but you have some what you would call them degrees or certificates of accomplishment or whatever, don't you?
Yeah. Well, when I got into the plumbing industry, it was a lot harder to get into it because there wasn't such a labor shortage. So I ended up going to Texas State Technical College, and I got a 2-year certificate in industrial maintenance technology. But we studied plumbing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went through apprenticeship in Texas. Ended up getting a journeyman license, and also after that a master license. And in Texas, they have what they call a responsible master plumber. You cannot own or operate a business in Texas without that license. It's not that way here, but
you did qualify in Texas for that.
correct.
So that
I'm a master plumber in Texas, but not in Tennessee because they don't have that license.
okay. All right. You brought your guitar this morning. You going to play for us today?
Absolutely.
All right. We got to go to a break right now, but we will continue with Ed Kelly in a moment. Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection here on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. This update brought to you by Absolute Kubota, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's on the increase 65 southbound right now coming through Madison. Just give yourself plenty of extra time. We've seen a lot of radar out here. Headley Drive at Highway 100. That's a crash out on the west side. Hillsborough Pike at Lombardi Drive. We saw him trying to move that crash just a few minutes ago. That should be over near the Green Hills area. Prince's Hot Chicken now available for catering. They're also hiring at both locations. If you haven't been there in a while, check out that menu today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Do you know why Rocky Williams Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Mount Juliet sells so many cars, trucks, SUVs, and muscle cars? Well, it all starts with a simple idea. Why not give everyone a hassle-free shopping experience for their new or used vehicle with no haggling, no negotiating, and no runaround? Every vehicle on the Rocky Williams lot is marked down incredibly low with the price posted on the window. You're treated with fairness and respect every time. No pressure, just a friendly, warm, inviting staff dedicated to finding the exact vehicle you need. So Rocky Williams Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has become the original no-haggle, one-price dealer. Go online to rockywilliams.com to see the incredible deals yourself. Every car and truck is listed with a no-haggle low price. This is for real, and you're gonna love it. People drive for miles to get some of the lowest prices in America on their new or used cars or trucks. Go to rockywilliams.com or come on over to our brand new spacious dealership next to Walmart in Mount Juliet.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Ed Kelly's here, Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. Ed, I've got a review here that I might pass along for you this morning. This is from Catherine Moses, and it says, we found a leak on Sunday under the kitchen and contacted them on Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, they were here and diagnosed the problem. We ordered the part, and Wednesday afternoon, the leak was fixed. Ed was very professional and informative. I would definitely recommend this company and use them again anytime I experienced another leak. Great job all the way around. 5-star service. Now that is pretty good. We got another one here. This is Eddie Rousell says, I give them a rating of 10 out of 10. They arrived within 1 day of call for service. They were very efficient in resolving my problem. Also, very courteous. I totally recommend them for your plumbing needs. All right, a couple of good recommendations there. And now, what are you going to do for us?
Well, I want to sing a little jingle.
All right.
Because I can't come on the radio without singing. You know that. When I got home from work today, I was planning on having me a real good time with my children and my wife in our swimming pool. But when I walked through my front door, there was water all over my hardwood floors, my water heater blew, and I didn't know what to do. So I called Mount Juliet Plumbing and they came right out. It was the best decision without a shadow of doubt. Mount Juliet Plumbing installed me a new water heater.
All right, Ed Kelly, the plumbing plumbing
singing plumber.
The singing plumber. I'll get it right after a while. All right, what else you got?
I want to sing another one. This is kind of a funny one that I just wrote one day sitting on the couch. So that's how it actually starts. I was sitting on the couch watching my TV. Then all of a sudden my phone starts to ring. She said, I need a plumber because I have a leak. Well, I said, ma'am, don't you worry about a thing. Mount Juliet Plumbing is on the way. I said, ma'am, don't you worry about a thing. Mount Juliet Plumbing is on the way.
All right. Well, you have time to sit and come up with these little ditties for us.
Not usually, Coleman, but sometimes my mind will create something that I don't even know how it happened. But
well, let's talk about water heaters. Water heaters are a great thing, but they can be a great problem when they go wrong.
Yeah, we've been running into a lot of natural gas water heaters, mostly 50-gallon, and sometimes there will be a leak at the tank. Sometimes there will be a drip from the T&P valve, and even if it's a 40-gallon, what we normally do is put in a 50-gallon. Sometimes this past month, we ran into a situation where they had a 75-gallon natural gas water heater in a 2-bathroom home. And, of course, the 75-gallon natural gas water heaters quite a bit more than a 50-gallon, and they just didn't need that much hot water for the two of them,
Okay.
So we went ahead and took that one out since it was leaking, and we put a 50 in for them. And, we put in...
I take it takes less amount of energy, in this case gas, to heat the 50 and keep it hot as it does the 75.
Sure, and
so
also
that ought to save a little money in the
also
long
the
run.
75-gallon is going to be quite a bit more expensive to install.
Okay.
So it didn't make sense for them to spend extra money for a unit that somebody had put in before they were ever there. When they weren't going to be able to use that much hot water at one time.
Do you do more gas or more electric water heaters?
We run into a lot of mostly gas around here. I mean, there are some homes with electric, but most of the ones we end up running into and replacing are natural gas.
What's the average life of a water heater? Or is there?
I would like to say 10 years, but I've seen some failing earlier. And then with the new gas control valve that they've had for about 10 years, there's been quite a few failures with it. After about 5 or 6 years. So sometimes it may not even be worth making a repair on something because you don't know how long the water heater is going to last after 6 years,
Yeah, right.
But but yeah, the average is about 10 years is what I'm
Well,
running into around
let
here.
me ask something else, because electricity, if you don't know what you're doing, I mean, electricity, you can get you get electrocuted, you can get killed if you don't know what you're doing there.
Absolutely.
Gas, I guess there can be explosions and so on. Does
Absolutely.
that ever bother you? I know you got to be careful and do it the right way. You surely have a lot of experience in those situations.
It doesn't bother me personally, but what I worry about is making sure that if we're working on an electric water heater, that we get those connections real good and tight. If we're working on a gas water heater, that we get the gas lines back together right and there's no gas leaks. We did run into a situation last week where actually a homeowner with kids ended up smelling something burning, and their electric water heater had when we got over there was a stain that like a watermark from where that thing had been dripping for some time, and they woke up in the middle of the night with the smell, and that water heater had actually I don't know if it caught on fire, but there was a spark at some point, and luckily nothing happened. That's the first time I've ever seen anything like that in particular, but I've seen some.
Well, did that disable the water heater?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't have any hot water.
And they needed a new water heater. But as far as safety goes, I've seen some water heaters where the homeowner has had a drip for a while and they left it and nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. But in this situation, it was the furthest. It was pretty bad. It didn't. Nothing got burned down, but there was a real possibility that a fire could have taken place. So I've never really warned anybody about that. But after seeing what I saw, now I want to warn anybody that has had even a small drip on their electric water heater to get it replaced or repaired, because you don't want to be in the middle of the night sleeping and then have a fire and then have to deal with that, and maybe even have to deal with something very unfortunate.
Well, what about leaks? Not at your water heater necessarily, but a leaky faucet or something like that. I don't think any of us really like that. But how important is it to get it attended to in a hurry?
Well, people don't realize how many gallons can be used up with just a very minute leak, like a faucet dripping. It could easily use up 5,000-6,000 gallons extra in a month time. If that thing is just going dot, 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 dripping, it could fill up 8 to 10 gallons in an hour easy, and people just don't realize it. So,
and your sewer here in Lebanon anyway, how much ever your water bill is, your sewer is about the same. So if you're paying extra for a water drip, you're paying more for
they charge you more for the sewer.
Right,
And that's where we've been getting a lot of complaints is they've had a water leak, and then their sewer bill was high.
Yeah.
So, and in Mount Juliet is the same. West Wilson is the water company, and then I believe the Lebanon and Mount Juliet see their own sewer. They use have their own plant and treat the sewage and stuff.
Yeah. You do a lot of leak detection. And you do a lot of water heaters, gas and electric. But any kind of plumbing problem, you invite people to call you. You're going to take care of them.
Absolutely.
I think last time or time before, you said you were looking for some people that might be interested in doing plumbing. You still need anybody?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking for young men right out of high school, and even young women. If you want to get into something like this. It's a challenging trade, but once you go through the process of getting a license, it's really, really worth it. You'll never stop learning in life. No matter what you're doing, you're going to learn something. But plumbing will really challenge you.
Even somebody who might have visions of going into business for themselves later on need to have some experience ahead of time, maybe come to work for you and learn the trade a little bit better before hanging the shingle out for themselves, I would think.
Yeah, when I got into the plumbing industry years ago, one of the first things I realized was that eventually, if I wanted to, I could start up a business. And as soon as I got into the trade school, that became a goal of mine, and it was on the forefront of my mind, to get that master license that was required by the state of Texas, and then start up a plumbing business. And initially, I had done a lot of commercial plumbing. I worked on big job sites, and so initially, that's what I wanted to do. But after getting the right licenses, just doing the commercial part just wasn't really that practical for my situation. And so, there's, the trades right now are really needing good people that want to work hard, whether you want to come work for us or try to join the local union, there's good opportunities in the plumbing industry.
All right. Well, again, Ed Kelly is telephone number 615-733-5665, Mount Juliet Plumbing and Leak Detection. Thanks for being with us this morning. We'll see you next time. All right. That's it for Monday. And until tomorrow, I wish you a magnificent day.